hello, and welcome to the weekend review for Module 5. Okay, let's talk about a couple of points here in Module 5. One, I'm going to go back to Module 4, and that was the midterm. I know a few of you had texted me about some questions that you really thought were wrong, and you're absolutely correct. After everybody was done with the midterm, there were a couple of questions that I am totally tossing out, and we'll be giving those points back to you. Nobody in the class got them right, so it was pretty clear that I had some bad questions with the wrong answers keyed in there. So 2 questions, those points will be given back to you, so stay tuned for that. All the other questions on the midterm looked really good. As I mentioned in a previous video, what I do is I look at all the questions that we've had in a quiz or midterm, and if more than, or I should say less than 50% of the students miss the question, it's a bad question, I toss it out. The lowest question we had, other than the 2 questions that nobody got correct at all, was one at the 60% range, and it was a solid. The question was valid, as to maybe a little trickier than little level difficulty was a little bit more higher than the other ones. So, but all the other questions looked really good as far as their validity. So stay tuned. Again, your midterm grades will all be lifted up by the points associated with those 2 questions. Now, each one of you have a different exam. So for me to say it was question 5, it may be question 5 for you, but for someone else, it was random ordered questions. It might be question 7, question 10, what have you. So I really can't give you the number. It was just 2 particular questions that were randomly ordered in your midterm. So, all right, so stay tuned for the points coming back to you on that. In Module 5, I have made an adjustment, and hopefully you've seen that adjustment on the web page, but let me talk a little bit about that. So let's jump into the course real quickly here. And we're going to take a look at that. And that has to do with the Research Project Part 2. I want to give you a little bit more time on this project. It is not terribly difficult, but it can be time consuming. So what I'm going to do is you have until the end of next module, Module 6 at Sunday, to complete this. What it is it's a literature review. And do take a look at the videos that are in there about a literature review. So basically what you're going to do, though, in about, in 5 pages, maybe a little bit more, but at least get to the 5-page mark, is you're going to take your resources, and again, you're going to want to have at least 7 resources. Try to stay peer-reviewed, but if you can't find the peer-reviewed, I will, in this particular assignment, that is okay. But I think all of you understand kind of what a good source is, and you stay away from some of the stuff that's completely slanted. I know finding peer-reviewed articles on some of your topics is difficult, but you can find industry articles on your topics pretty easily. So try to stick with those professional industry articles, those white papers out there on your subject, and those will be fine. So I'm not going to beat up anybody about points over peer-reviewed articles. But you do need 7 of them. So basically, you're going to recap it. You're going to kind of provide a little summary of what is in that particular document. And again, please review the kind of the literature review part 1 and 2. That'll give you some guidance on how to prepare that. So know that everything that we're doing here on all these various parts of this assignment is going to build up to this culmination piece that you'll do at the end, your presentation. So it also gets you acclimated to doing research and how to navigate, for some of you that are new to the college, how to navigate the college library, the online library resources, the other sources out there on the internet. So when you're doing projects in the future, hopefully this becomes more easy to you because you have a process that you've established in this class. Okay, but the big news is I changed the due date, so we got an extra whole week to work on that. You will have part 3 of that project will be due in Module 6. Part 3 is pretty easy. You're just going to be making a few charts and graphs, 3 of them, which you practice kind of making charts and graphs in that previous assignment. So now you're going to apply that, and you're going to make some charts and graphs for your topic that you'll then eventually use in your presentation, so it won't go wasted. So, but that'll be very minimal, but that'll also be due at the end of Module 6. Okay, so that pretty much concludes kind of the major updates that we're doing this week, the normal standard fare that we're doing with various assignments. That's kind of the norm. But other than that, that's pretty much it. Remember, if you do see a 0 or a 1 point in any of your graded items, that means I couldn't find the item or the item wasn't submitted, please submit those items. I do take late work, and there are some points deducted to be fair to those people that got it on time. But as I mentioned in previous videos, you definitely want to submit something rather than nothing, because sometimes the difference between a B and an A or a C and a B is like 10 points. So every point does count, even when you have 1,000 points in a course. So, all right, excellent. Well, that concludes the week in review for Module 5. And as always, thanks for watching.